Hey everybody, it's Spicy Kai. Today I want to talk to you about Abigail Zwerner, the teacher who was shot by her 6-year-old student in front of a class full of first graders.
When I met with Abigail's family on Saturday, and they took me up to her room, she asked me, first question, do you know how my students are?
But before we get started, whether you're new or returning, welcome to my channel. Go ahead and hit that like button for me, or the dislike if that's what floats your boat. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for me. And be sure to hit the notification bell and click all notifications so you get notified every time I drop a new video. Now let's get to the content. On Friday, January 6, 2023, 25-year-old Abigail Zwerner was teaching, as usual, in front of her class of 6th graders at Richneck Elementary School in Newport, Virginia. All of a sudden, a 6-year-old student pulled out a gun and shot her in front of about 20 other first grade students. But for some reason, that's not how the story was reported to us in the beginning. The media told us that there was some sort of altercation in the classroom, presumably between Abigail and the student. This left some wondering if the teacher somehow brought this upon herself. The media also led us to think that the gun the boy brought to school came from his home and that it had been secured properly by his parents. This left many people blaming the parents, even though no formal statements have been made saying that the gun was left out for him to easily find it and take it to school. And we were also led to believe that the only person who was ever in danger throughout the incident was the teacher herself. This gave us some sigh of relief knowing she survived and believing that no one else was traumatized by this mess, especially children. But it appears that very little of this version of the story is true. I'm not sure if the media just made up lies and ran with them, or if the school board told reporters those lies hoping to cover up their own asses. Either way, this is the BS they fed us in the beginning.
A police investigation is underway after a 6-year-old boy shot a female teacher yesterday in an elementary school classroom in Newport News, Virginia. According to the authorities, the student and teacher were in an altercation when the 6-year-old student who had the gun fired a single shot, hitting her. They say this was not an accidental shooting.
That's right, Amber. Alex, a shocking, disturbing news out of Newport News, Virginia. This happened shortly after 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon while school was still in session. Police tell us, as you said, that this was during an altercation between this female teacher and her student, a 6-year-old. That means this was a class of first graders. That 6-year-old pulled out a gun and fired a shot into that teacher. The teacher immediately rushed to the hospital, as you said, with life-threatening injuries. And at that moment, the school also began lockdown procedures to make sure that no other students or staff was put in danger. Police also explaining yesterday that this shooting was contained to that one classroom and that at no moment were other students at risk after this shooting.
And I'm in shock, and I'm disheartened, and I really feel that we need to educate our children, and we need to keep them safe.
So where should I start with the lies, and why does it matter? Well, I'm going to start by giving you a timeline of that day. And the reason the lies are bothering me here is this could have happened anywhere. And it probably will if the actual truth about the 6-year-old boy who shot his first grade teacher stays brushed under the rug. There is no way to learn from this madness without knowing the truth. That's the only way to make changes that bring value to the lives of our teachers and their students, present and future. Abigail Zwerner was not protected by the school administrators or the school board, which means her students and co-workers were in danger too. This could have been prevented multiple times throughout the school year. That day alone, 3 different teachers reported the boy to the administration for strange behavior. They also reported that he had a gun with him on campus in his backpack. Here's how the timeline goes. On Friday, January 6th, between 11:15 and 11:30 a.m., Abigail had threatened to beat up one of his classmates. At 12:30 p.m., another teacher spoke with the school administrator. She reported that Abigail had searched the boy's backpack, but she didn't find the gun. Knowing for a fact that the boy was strapped, this really worried them. This meant he had hidden it somewhere on campus. The administrator downplayed the situation and let it go. Right before 1 o'clock p.m., a third teacher told the administrator that the boy had shown another student the gun during recess. The gun-toting kid also threatened to shoot him if he told anybody. About an hour before the gun was fired, Abigail started texting a friend. In one text, she said that the student said he had a gun in his backpack and that administrators weren't helping. Not long before the shooting, a fourth employee asked the school admin for permission to search the boy. The admin denied the request, telling the employee to, quote, wait the situation out because the school day was almost over, unquote. Throughout all of this, the Newport News police were never notified. Less than an hour later, the boy pulled the gun in class. Abigail Zwerner was shot in the hand and in the chest by the student in front of the entire classroom full of children. Still, she safely escorted about 20 first graders out of the class and to safety before she was transported to the hospital.
Investigation is underway after a 6-year-old boy shot a female teacher yesterday in an elementary school classroom in Newport News, Virginia. According to the authorities, the student and teacher were in an altercation when the 6-year-old student who had the gun fired a single shot, hitting her. They say this was not an accidental shooting.
Yeah, the teacher was immediately rushed to the hospital with life-threatening injuries, but officials say she has improved since she was admitted.
Now, let's dissect the lies. Lie number 1. There was no altercation. The boy just started firing at the teacher while she was teaching in front of the class. But the powers that be wanted this narrative out there because it easily distracted people from the facts. They would rather use Abigail as a scapegoat than to let the word get out that they ignored every sign possible about this boy. Lie number 2. According to the boy's parents, the gun was secured. However, the media or police have yet to give the public more information about how the child got his hands on it.
The parents say, quote, our family has always been committed to responsible gun ownership and keeping firearms out of the reach of children. The firearm our son accessed was secured. The statement does not share any motive for the shooting. However, it says the child suffers from, quote, an acute disability.
Lie number 3. Now, how in the hell were there no others at risk when the boy did the deed in the classroom during the school day? There were up to 20 other children in that room at the time of the shooting. So there were definitely others at risk. Sounds like the school board made up that lie just to keep the public calm.
It's bullshit.
Everything that guy just says is bullshit. Thank you.
Just lie? You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
What did administrators do? Did administrators call the police? No. Did administrators lock down the school? No. Did the administrators evacuate the building? No. Did they confront the student? No. Abby Zwerner was shot in front of those horrified kids, and the school and community are living the nightmare. All because the school administration failed to act. Were they not so paralyzed by apathy, they could have prevented this tragedy. This should have never happened. It was preventable. And thank God Abby is alive. But had the school administrators acted in the interest of their teachers and their students, Abby would not have sustained a gunshot wound to the chest, a bullet that remains dangerously inside her body. I hope the Newport News School District will do the right thing, and everyone should pay close attention to their response, because will they send a message that teachers are expendable, that this is just a hazard of the job if you teach Newport News? Their response will hover over this community and this school district for decades. And since they can't roll back time and undo the callousness of the bureaucracy, they can do the right thing and admit what went wrong and fix it and take care of Abby now. Thank you.
So who's at fault here? Is it the school board, the school administrator, who has since been fired, other teachers, that one school employee that really tried to search the student? Was it the student himself? Was it the parents? Was the gun actually secured? Either way, there's more to it than what we're being told. because this boy was supposed to be escorted by a parent to and throughout the school every single day. For whatever reason, this didn't happen that day. How do you feel about that? Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Spicy out.